everyone is copying, and why do you need dad lore to fix it? In today's video, I'm going to dive in deep why everybody is copying somebody at some level or taking aspects of their business and using it for themselves. And most people copy on the mark from 6 figures to 7 figures. Even seven, yes. Most people, say like you need like 6 figures, just copy someone if you want to get 6 figures. But even 7 figure owners are copying everybody. That's what the game is. And why do I know this? Because I work with 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs as their operation of sales managers. I've seen hundreds and thousands of dollars of transactions being pulled from their banks from different sort of ways. I've seen how their marketing strategies work, how all these things work. Even myself as a consultant, I've taken people over past 50K a month. So I know what I'm talking about. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you exactly why everyone is copying at some level. And let me talk about this with 3 people in this entire space, which are your favorite gurus, I guess, which is Luke Belmar, Tate, and we're going to also touch on Iman. Now, Luke Belmar, he copied Tate's entire funnel for Capital Club. From both the TRW and War Room, he has some upsells for there. When you get inside of the Capital Club, there's, upsells to his retrieves, masterminds, which are basically his, high ticket offer where he makes a lot of money as well. How do I know this? Because the same guy who ran both the operation for the Cobra Tate entire operation from 2021 till 2023 and also Luke Belmar's entire Capital Club operation, his affiliates were the same. And the guy who ran it has made even videos on there. You can check his channel out, Ilya Pompa. He runs Cloud Profit Academy. I'm not affiliated anyway. Guy is a genius, by the way, because affiliates are really, really good. And this entire thing, he told himself, why did also Luke Belmar did not compete with Tate? Why did he fail? Why was Tate so effective? Because even though Luke Belmar had the same guys, the same blueprint, because Andrew actually was the first to do it. Because Luke didn't have the things in the real world. Now that's what I'm going to come in and talk about dad lore. Like, why do you need to have like actual stories? Because the issue in the market is that no one is actually doing things or having stories, and that's why they copy from each other. This is absolutely crucial. Reason being that most of the people that are in this space they don't have any factors to themselves. They do not have any sort of stories or any of their own. They have their background story, of course, like, Luke Belmar was, flushing toilets, flipping pizzas. He was doing his thing, right? Like, that's his story. $200 in a suitcase, came to America. That's his story. But after that, what happened? It's internet money. Everybody has the same amount of story in the entire internet space. And that's what sucks, because Tate, the reason why he wins all over all these guys, because let's say there are even people who are more genius than him in some sense, but he's the greatest marketer right now. The reason why he's win because he's a 4-time kickboxing world champion, because he has the experience of, like being in like 78 countries or even more. He's been through jail. He's been through all these things. These are real world acts which you cannot replicate by copying or even, trying to copy the style, because it doesn't have the same backing and authority that the guy has. If Luke Belmar was a fighter, he was a professional MMA fighter, of course he would have outsold Tate. Of course he would have done it, because he understands the game, the New York game, better than he do. But he didn't have the things. Luke Belmar is not as good of an orator, and he's not good of a speaker as Tate is. He's not as punctual and emotional when Tate speaks. And you can kind of see the way a lot of people still use his cadences. Sometimes even I do when I'm speaking and where I'm trying to be emotional, because that's how good of a communicator Tate is. That's what you guys need to understand as well. If you're stuck, let's say, because these are like big boys, but just shamelessly copy. I'm being completely honest with you. Shamelessly copy someone, get to 6 and 7 figures. After you want to get to 8, because 8 is where you have to actually put in some sort of work and make your entire new offer or some twist. Till here, bro, I've seen so many people copy the same thing. He's like, yeah, bro, we just, we took his mastermind, now we're copying his entire structure. I'm just like, wait, what? This is just the game. That's the game. This is what everybody is doing. Your favorite guy, Nick Setting, Tom Youngs. Nick Setting copied from Tom Youngs, and Tom Youngs copied from Iman, which I'm going to talk about next. Everybody's copying. Now, mark my words, people will start using the word flywheel system like crazy now. Why? Because Iman has his new channel teaching all of his tricks for his low ticket info product, which was the agency accelerator, to sell his high ticket, the 8-figure license, which he has. And people will copy the word from his business channel and pollute the market. You will see some people talk about these flywheel systems. Tom Young, he took that entire flywheel system thing from Iman, but he just did it faster. Now, What should you do? What can we do now? And this is what you do. You use the 3% rule. Most of you have heard it. Most of you, I think you know about Virgil as well. Kanye, Virgil, that was a big thing. But just do this. Just copy more. But make it better, like literally, like just make it better. If you want to hit 6 or 7 figures, this is what you do. You shamelessly copy, you don't care. You literally, this is what even Charlie Morgan says. Charlie Morgan, one of the reasons why I even like him is because he says just copy. Because that's what he's doing. He's just copying. What you do is you copy, you make it 3% better than the market, and boom, you make money. And then when the market catches on, you copy again, and then you make it 3% better. And you complete this entire cycle till the point you make your money. But of course, when you are trying to hit 8 figures, like Charlie is doing right now, like Charlie is using so many different sort of tactics, people are copying again. You see that cycle? It's a cyclical cycle. You copy, you do that, then you copy, then you do this, and this is a cycle. But as soon as you hit this 8 figure mark, it's where you have to kind of present a different sort of way to the market, because you are now reaching to a broader audience. And the broader the audience get, the tighter the messaging becomes, or even a lot of people, the reason why they can't scale is because the messaging gets, it's not direct. That's why like small creators like William Brown's, one of the guys, he has 14K subscribers on YouTube. That's it, but he's printing millions of dollars. Why? Because he speaks to his ICP, he makes value-driven content, and he just goes hard on that. Is there anything wrong with that? No. But when he's trying to hit 8 figures, when he will try to make 8 figures a month, when he's trying to scale that, he needs a broader audience. He needs more people to sell to. Now, of course, there are other ways around it. You can sell product. You can make your software. It's what a lot of people do, because scaling is hard. Nobody understands how genius Iman is. Like, truthfully, you guys need to give this guy the props, because he came up with a lot of the stuff that people are copying right now. And why did he came up with that? Because he just tested a bunch of things, because he had the audience. This is something in history, guys. You need to understand this. People take action. People who actually experiment, they make the blueprint. And the blueprint is then copied by other people. And then some people just copy. They make a little bit of money, but the geniuses are those who make it 3% better. Now, let me go back to the board. But just make your offer sales content 3% better. Just literally take a guy, rip his entire funnel out, and just make it 3% better. That's it. Use your own made-up terms that will stand out in the market. A flywheel system. This thing's going to be used like insane. This is going to be so much used. It's going to be like the used girl in high school, the cheerleader. You know what I'm talking about? But like, that's the entire thing. People are going to use these keywords, these unique mechanisms, just taking it from someone and being faster to the market. That's why execution and speed is important. But the reason why people say speed is because whenever you're first in the market, whenever the market hears you as the first, you get the authority, even though you might have copied from someone, but they just didn't go as hard on it. Maybe someone sees this entire thing like the 3% rule. Everybody knows the 3% rule, but the guy who saw it, he saw Virgil's I think it has like 400, 500K views in total. Most of them were artists. But a guy who's smart, who's in the business industry, he took that word and just made it entire in the business space. Now, everybody talks about 3% rule in content and all these things. Why? But he just took it, a small portion that the guy did an emphasis on, and he just polluted the market with that entire word. And that's how everybody's playing the game right now. So, copy someone's entire business, make it 3%, just rip it apart. Find your Kanye, be like Virgil, and just copy. This is the entire structure of this video. But now I'm going to touch on something super important, which sounds funny, but is actually the key, which is dad lore. Now, dad lore is extremely important. Why? Because when I touched on Tate, right? Like I touched on Tate, he's a 4-time kickboxing world champion. Let me just go up. Let me go here. Let me zoom out, and boom. Now, Tate, he's a 4-time kickboxing world champion. That alone is enough credibility and shows that this guy is not afraid of hard work, and he's actually the man he's talking about. When he shows you the receipts, the girls, all that stuff, that is in your mind saying, yeah, this guy's legit. And most people don't do that. So you as an entrepreneur, when you're trying to scale, have your stories, have your universe, have your things. Now, of course, I need to apply this myself as well, because I do not go out that much. Of course, I train, I do all that stuff. But me as an entrepreneur, I don't go out that much. I don't do things that much, which I should do, because at the end of the day, it's going to fuel the biggest sort of leverage that you have, which is your personal brand. And the personal brand in the terms of AI right now, where people can make a guy pop out of the air like that, you need yourself to go out and actually do stuff, because More and more people use AI to create these you probably have seen a bunch of Instagram these videos and influencers who are fake and who are also making these like marketing products, these runway shows for these all these mega e-commerce brands and charging insane amount of money. And those AI guys are influencers, but they're not real people. And the reason why you need to stand out and do this is to build your personal brand. Now, I'm not saying go every day on Instagram and be like, hey guys, because that's also another thing. Your quality can deduce the time that you want to put in. Let me put that again. So basically, the more quality and the more capable you are, the less time you have to put in. Why do you think a CEO has like 12 departments in a company? He spends 1 hour and the company runs and he gets paid the most. Why? Because his capability and his quality of work is so much higher than the average employee working in the business. The average employee takes 12 hours to do the work that the CEO does in 1 hour because his quality is, again, it's a higher level. Is what you guys also need to understand. Now, with this entire purpose of this video, I need to make one point super clear is that the game is rigged. Don't complain about the players, just play the game. So what's the game plan? The game plan is, even I'm going to do it even more, is just copy someone. Easy, right? Copy someone. Make it 3% better. And just run with it. Pretty simple. After you have 8 figures, there's a bunch of guys, that's why people have mentors, all this sort of stuff. You can kind of run in with that. But this is the entire game. And also just be on top of the market. Be on top of the market, see what the market is doing. Find people who are out of your niche. Like, go broad. I see a lot of people, they don't go broad for some reason. Most people, they just sit inside this entire circle and just like circle jerk each other and just go with there. What I want you to do is just learn from other industries, learn from people who are in e-commerce, all this sort of stuff. What Virgil talked about creativities and shoes, which is now taken in business. So you can see the kind of, and also when you bring other market knowledge to your market in a packaged way which people can understand, that generates all the money in the world. You guys need to understand that completely. Again, 3% rule, apply that all of the time. A lot of the people that I'm seeing is that a lot of these e-commerce guys are now building personal brands, not to sell their coaching offer, but also make them better and also have higher authority when they do deals inside of e-commerce and when people buy their products. So that's also a move people are making. You probably have seen Samir, that guy. He's on Twitter. He's super funny, by the way, but he just spams aura edits and all that. So now, of course, he has a course, he has all these things, but also on top of that, when he's trying to make a deal, he can leverage his personal brand again. And that's the flywheel system in and of itself. Your brand, your personal brand, the content, the value that you put out is what you're going to receive in the end. The world is yin and yang. You guys need to understand that there's light and there's dark. And the more light you give to the world, the more dark will also come. Not in a bad sense, of course. I'm just like saying that everything needs to be equaled out. Everything in this world needs to be equaled out. This is how the world works, yin and yang. And you guys need to just give value till the point the people feel like they owe you to just buy something from you or just even take interest in your product. But that's the entire rule. Go outside, touch some grass, like literally touch some grass, make some story, make some cool content, and just copy someone shamelessly, make it 3% better. And this is the entire game. This is the point that I was trying to make because I saw this yesterday when I was researching in my own market. And I was just like, bro, these guys are just copying everybody. I was like, let me just make a video on this so you guys can also kind of just like see through the lens. And also, once you start to think this way, you'll see everybody's copying some level to someone at some sort, even probably me. So again, the game is rigged. Don't complain about the players. Just play the goddamn game.